Estamos de regreso con el segundo episodio de ¿Qué te pica? ¿Qué te pica? ¿Qué te pica? That was good, right?
Yeah,
I'm
really
Chris.
good.
I'm Cilla.
And I'm also Chris.
And this is the Get the Pica podcast. And we're going to do things a little bit differently this episode. Vamos a estar hablando en español también.
Ooh, that was like a Spaniard Spanish, like the Española. You
Like
know what
a
I mean?
sexy Spanish.
Yeah, like the ones that come out on Netflix.
Like,
En este episodio vamos a estar...
Well, before we start, quería agradecerles a todos los que soportaron el estreno de ¿Qué te pica?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Gracias por el apoyo.
Yeah,
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
I will make sure I get you a Coke.
Mm.
The feedback that I got, I always think it's a good idea to try to always grow. So shout out to all the homies that gave me a little bit of feedback. Gracias por todo.
Yes, a lot of people were asking what Get the Pica means. And I think we should all say what it means to them. Let's start with Cilla.
So ¿Qué te pica? To me, it means like what's bothering you, like what's bugging you, or what do you have in your mind. So it kind of just reminds me of that saying, si te pica, ráscate.
Mm.
And I kind of just went from there, like with that saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, what does it mean for y'all?
For me, it means how does it affect you?
For me, Get the Pica is like, so what? Like, what's it to you? You know what I mean? Like, I hate that my neighbor's always blasting music that I don't like, right? Okay, well, I think Get the Pica, like, so what, bro? Like, just deal with it, you know?
Okay. I kind of see what you mean. And we all kind of intertwine with each other, and we all kind of have the base down of what the root of it is.
Mm-hmm.
Y por eso creo que también funciona muy bien, porque tenemos la misma idea.
Mm-hmm. So, ¿qué les pica hoy?
Get the Pica.
¿Qué te
Chris.
pica?
A mí lo que me pica es la ignorancia. Like today, I was getting a haircut, right? And there was this one guy there, like just talking out of his ass, asking his coworker who is Muslim about like Indians and like comparing them to Indians, and like he did not know that India was in Asia as opposed to Africa, where Iraq is, which is where the guy was from. And so he was just being so like ignorant, like asking all these questions and saying that he wouldn't tell the difference unless like some stereotypical stuff. And I was just like, dude, I can't believe like you're still talking. Like, just be quiet.
Like, he already gave you a pass.
And the guy was even saying like, dude, you're taking it too far. Like, and he's like, no, like I'm asking. And like, there's one point, there's like a point where I understand that you're trying to educate yourself, but there's a way to ask it, and there's a certain way to come up about it without being racist or without being offensive.
Yeah.
And the way he was just asking or saying things was just super offensive. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe you're still... And everybody was like, dude, just shut up. Like, just keep talking. Just stop talking. And no, like, he kept going. And I was like, that is so ignorant that it was so, like, oof, like, eso me picó.
And no one told...
Like, everybody was just like, you know what, like, just be quiet. I ended up, like, actually, that was when my haircut finished and I walked off. But, like, I even said, like, dude, just at this point, stop. And like I didn't even know him.
I don't know. I hate ignorance too, right? Like I think
we talked about it. Yeah, that's your ick. Yeah.
But I kind of get what that guy's saying. So like Pakistan, Afghanistan, they're right next to India. But also like if let's say you, like, I gave you that pass, right? Let's say he said, oh yeah, for whatever reason, yeah, you thought it would be cool for you to tell me you think that you can't tell us apart. If he already explained that, okay, well I'm not from India, I'm actually from Pakistan or anywhere else, right? At that point, you say, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any, ignorance, but I didn't mean to be rude, and then just let it go. Like, to your point, like, ¿pa qué le sigue? You know what I mean? Like, that's just the worst. So, I get where maybe one thing could have been like, oh, I'm just trying to, like,
no, yeah,
point
I really cut it short, pero estaba diciendo como like 10 different things, and like, well, what about this? Like, it was just a lot of like really fucked up shit that he was
ignorant. Yeah.
And so eso me picó. Cilla, ¿qué te pica?
Oh, I actually have a good one.
A ver, ¿qué te pica?
A mí lo que me pica It goes back to this story that Chris told me. The Chris that I'm with, he was telling me about how sometimes like older people compliment his English, and they're like, "Wow, your English is very well spoken."
Oh,
And
like what's that supposed to mean?
yeah, I'm like, wait, what? So I remember he was telling me a story about it, and I was like, whoa, like bring that back a little bit, because I was on my phone, and I was like, wait, what happened? He was like, yeah, like I was having a conversation with X, and then I was like, okay, and he was just like, yeah, like he kind of just told me like, wow, I'm really impressed how like your English is very well spoken, and I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, what did he mean by that? And he was like, well, I don't know. I guess like my vocabulary or something. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of weird, right? Now that I think of
okay.
it.
I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of bugs me sometimes because I'm like, what do they mean by that? Like, what?
Yeah, kind of like with an undertone of, I'm surprised.
Yes.
Like a backhanded compliment.
There you go.
Exactly.
Like a no offense, but let me offend you really quickly.
Yeah. Like, oh, don't take this as an
No
offense.
te ofendas, pero deja ofenderte, no manches.
Yeah. I mean, I recall that day, and it happens a lot. So for the people who don't know, right, Spanish is my first language. And I'll say I have it both ways. Like I've spoken Spanish around people before, and they're like, "You speak Spanish?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my first language." And then there's other people, like the one Cilla said, where that one was like unrelated. Like I didn't speak Spanish at all. Nothing I said. It was just a normal, "Hey, what's going on?" Right, a conversation. And at the very end of it, he's like, "Oh, I actually, if I may, I would just love to say that you are very well spoken. Your English is very good." And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, why would you randomly, like, do you normally tell people this when you're on the phone with them? Like, where does that come from? So, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think, did I say anything in Spanish that, made this person think like, oh, wow, so they know Spanish and their English is really well. I would have
That's
never known.
crazy. Yeah, no. Well, actually, for me, they're surprised that I speak Spanish, like, to begin with.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. I guess I have the opposite end of it.
And to me, I've gotten like from both ways. Like, oh wow, I didn't even know you spoke English, because it depends. It really depended like where I was at.
Yeah.
So I was telling Chris that when I was at school in the university, because my major is Spanish and I minored in education. So when I was in school, I only spoke Spanish. So whenever my peers heard me speak English, they were like, "What the heck? Like, I didn't even know she spoke English."
Yeah.
They never said it, but I could say it, like I could see it with their face.
Yeah.
And then at work too, like I only spoke Spanish. So it's, I don't know, it's weird. And then whenever I have the people that I only speak English to, and then all of a sudden like I speak Spanish, they're like, "Whoa, I didn't even know like you spoke Spanish."
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on having your degree, though.
Oh, thank you.
My baby's
Thank
a
you. I'm
boss.
so proud of that. First generation.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge thing.
Very hard. I went in there like not knowing what to do, who to go to.
And it's crazy because from the first moment that you even decide to go to school, como que aprendes muchas cosas que nunca te enseñaron.
Preguntando se aprende las cosas.
Yeah.
It's weird, but you don't even know what to ask.
But yeah, because you've never been there. Like it's a new stage in your life, but also like you have no one to go to in your family to be like, "Hey mom, you went through this," or "Hey dad, you went through this. Like, how was it? Or can you walk me through the process?" Because they never went through. You know what I mean? Like there's no one. Your grandparents can't help you. Tios and tias can't help you. Like you're just kind of
lost in the sauce.
Yeah, lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I'm a pretty chill and laid back person. I really don't take offense to anything. Like literally the story that Cilla said about hey, you speak very well, right, in English, or you're very well spoken, etc. Like I really didn't think too much of it until I remember telling Cilla I was all excited, and she was just like, "Wait, what did he just say? Or say it to me again?" And I'm just like, yeah, just like ABC happened. So I really didn't even think of that part of the story. It was just kind of like in the flow, and she was just like, "That's messed up." And I was like,
like you didn't even realize it till she said it.
Yeah, she pointed it out to me, like, but that's how, like, I don't know, I really just don't take offense to a lot of things. I'm just kind of like one ear out the other,
And to me, it was just like past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had like the stories I was mentioning that. Oh, actually, I don't even think I mentioned this when I was in high school. That I was barely talking to Chris. I would only speak to the group who was barely learning English, so they would only speak Spanish, right? And one of Chris's friends was like, "Wow, does she even speak English?"
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just like little things that have happened to me where I'm just like, wait, what do they mean by that?
Yeah.
It makes you take a double take.
Yeah. Get the pica. Get the pica.
So we're interrupting the podcast for a quick little announcement.
So we are going to do a free giveaway. You have to like our Facebook page.
Comment on the latest post your favorite color.
That way we know for sure that, you did all the requirements.
And you will be entered for a raffle. We will choose the next winner by Wednesday. The cutoff will be Wednesday at midnight.
Yes. We're super excited about this giveaway.
Can't wait, and good luck.
Best of luck.
And here's the rest of the podcast.
Get the pica. Get the pica.
I want to go back to earlier tonight before we started recording. We were actually saving a story for the podcast, and you were actually talking about how you guys met.
Oh, how we met. So I was telling Chris that I wish I met my Chris sooner. I remember the first time like I ever saw him. It was my freshman year and he was a sophomore. I used to take advanced math, so I had him for math. And I remember he was wearing like a blue shirt and some like jeans, and he was wearing, I'm pretty sure they were Jordans. That's all he would wear in high school.
Aw, high school sweethearts.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, like he is so handsome, blah, blah, blah. I think I was like 14. I was like one of the younger ones.
Was he your first crush?
No, not my first crush, but the first time I ever really like, I don't know, like where I could remember the first time that I saw him.
Yeah.
I could never remember the first time I saw anyone else. Like, and I was just so like, wow, like he's really handsome. But I think at that time he was dating someone, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, and then eventually the day went on, and he had another class in front of me. So I was like, what the heck? And I remember he was holding hands with his girlfriend, and I was like, And then at the end, I used to have art with him, so I had 3 classes with him, and I was like, I really wish I would have met you like sooner. But he said that he saw me one time when we were in middle school.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know who she was.
Like,
yeah, like I just remember that. I think she was walking with her friend, and she was walking towards like by my neighborhood because we used to like be within walking distance of middle school. And I remember her walking. I remember that I was like looking at her. I was like, "Who's that?" You know what I mean? But I don't know. That was like a one-time thing. But I remember seeing her. Like I remember seeing her walking. I remember where she was at. She's like, "Oh yeah, I remember I was walking that bridge, and blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw you." Like that was the first real time that I ever saw you.
Eso ya más de 14 años.
Yeah.
It's been longer than 14 years.
Yeah.
Éramos chiquitos.
Dos chiquilinguillos. Little bodies, big old heads. Nah, but yeah.
Some people want to hear how y'all make it work.
I think communications.
I've always said that, honestly. Like, communication is key to everything.
True.
I feel that nowadays, though, like, people are so scared to communicate, or they just want to just, like, I don't know, like, kind of, like, put a Band-Aid over, like, things that they have an issue with. And it's just going to always build up and fester. Build up. Yes.
Instead of voicing out what you think.
Yeah. And I'll even say, to add to that, I can say, because I think we've been guilty of that before, like early on in our relationship.
What you talking about?
Like there was times where, like to avoid an argument or something, like, we just didn't want to, like, I'll just deal with it. Like, it's a me thing. I'll deal with it. And then eventually, like, as we kept going, like, we got more confident and more, open in our relationship to say, like, I don't like when you do that, or that bothers me. And then it's like, well, it's on you. Do you want to change to be better for the person you're with, or, have them deal with it and you're going to be you? You know what I mean? So I think that communication is a huge thing. For me, personally, I said this is one of the things that I like, right? But like the humor is always there. Like literally every day, it's like some type of event. Something's going to happen. She's going to do something that's going to make me laugh my ass off. And, it's just like a consistent thing every single day.
It reminded me of this story that we were talking about right now in high school with the substitute teacher.
Oh, yeah.
A ver. What substitute
Oh my
teacher?
god. So one of our teachers, when I was a sophomore, I think we were kind of barely talking like as friends, right? There was in another math class. We had a teacher that was out for maternity, whatever, right?
Maternity leave?
Maternity leave, there you go. And we had this long-term sub, and he was a little, oh my god, me caía tan mal ese señor. Anyways, so I had a little compact mirror, little mirrors with a little powder inside, and I was looking at myself, but Christian used to sit behind me, so I was
That was on
looking at
purpose, by the way. Right behind her. I was like,
you. He would
"Ooh."
always try to find a way to sit like by me
Yeah.
or around me.
And you were looking at him through your mirror?
Yeah.
Yes. And the teacher called me out in front of the whole class. It was so embarrassing.
What did he
Got him.
say?
He was like, Priscilla, instead of looking at Christian, can you please put your mirror away?
Ah,
Dude.
nah.
Everybody saw
Exposed,
it.
Yes.
dude. I would have gotten red.
No, I wanted to
That
run
would've
out of the
been-
class.
Yeah.
That was so embarrassing.
I probably just started like going at it with the teacher or something for embarrassing me like that, to be honest.
I wanted to cry. I'm like,
Dude, I would have cried. I would have thrown up. I would have everything.
thrown up. No, and I remember we were still friends, so he didn't know I had a crush on him. So all they do that is this. Ooh.
That was your introduction of, hi, I'm Priscilla.
Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Cilla.
That was so embarrassing. I still remember that.
Same.
Wow.
And that was what, like freshman year, you said?
I was a
Sophomore.
sophomore. He
Yeah,
was
so I was a
junior.
junior. Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot his name.
I forgot it too.
It's
Was
just
it-
like, one of those memories you kind of want
It was a sub. No, I'm thinking about the other guy. I was thinking about the sub who was like a long-term sub.
It was him.
But he was a teacher already there. So he wasn't like a
Oh,
true
no.
sub.
That was another math.
That was Munoz, Mr. Munoz. I
That was
remember
Mr.
him.
Lopez.
Lopez. Hey, ooh, I just gave him a whole different last name.
So we had math for all the way till college, didn't we?
Okay, dry vibes, right? Here goes a confession. I literally added an extra math class just so I could hang around Cilla.
Wow.
Oh, you did.
Like
you
I had no
did.
business. I literally as the semester went on, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this. Like this is like, why am I even in this class?
You
it was like
took an
calculus
extra-
or something.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. It was like
It was like algebra 2 or something. I
algebra
don't
2 or
remember.
calculus, something like that. And I was just like, bro, like, why did I do this?
Was it pre-cal?
Maybe
I don't
In
remember.
high school, I would think, maybe like
Maybe
an advanced
pre-cal.
course would be pre-cal.
because it was geometry, right? In my sophomore year, your freshman year, and then we
My
had algebra.
Freshman year is supposed to take algebra, and then sophomore geometry, and then junior year
Yeah, she
algebra
took geometry in freshman
and
year.
then pre-cal senior year.
Yeah.
So if you were taking advanced classes, you were doing pre-cal and junior
Yeah.
year. And then-
So for my class, it was a requirement to take that course, that last senior level course. But since Christian was a year above me, he didn't have to do it. It was kind of sort of like an elective, or
no, like he chose to take it.
he chose to do it. Yeah.
Only to be around.
Only to be around.
Yeah, dry vibes. Why did I just admit this?
One thing that I wanted to point out was when you started the story and when you ended it, you actually used dry vibes. Where does that come from?
Oh,
Cilla.
that's Cilla. Yeah.
The things I come up with.
Literally. Go ahead and introduce the world to dry vibes.
So dry vibes came
Dang.
from.
Here goes canceled podcast number 2.
No. Okay, it is. It's kind of embarrassing, but Christian and I, we love binge watching TV shows, and we were into this show called Boys. Is it Boys?
Mm-hmm.
The Boys. I don't know. It's on Prime. So we ended up looking up Homelander.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Starr.
Yeah, is that his name? Anthony Starr?
Yeah, I think so.
So we ended up finding this show. It's called Banshee,
Mhm.
right? And it was really good. That's a good
It
show.
was.
I
Like,
really recommend it.
We did binge.
But anyways, so one of these episodes, there was a scene,
Delicioso scene, if you
a
will.
delicioso scene, and they were doing the delicioso, and I was like, oh, that's weird, right? And then they really got into it, and I was like, oh my god,
Hold on. Give the context as far as the characters age-wise. Like, they were
Mhm.
adults. Like,
I mean,
like adults.
the guy was a little bit more mature.
Like, I feel like
What's
we're all
mature to
adults
you?
and mature, but that
Oh.
was like, oof, he's getting up there. You know what I mean? Like,
Are we saying
very
like
up there.
60s? Like,
yeah,
Like
probably.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
ooh, 60s and the girl?
The girl was kind of young. She was like 30,
30, 40 maybe.
Wow,
yeah.
that's half his age.
Yeah. So it was that freaky deek.
Oh, and then?
So I was like, nah, they won't do it. And
They showed
then,
everything.
No, they showed everything. So
What movie is this?
Banshee
Show,
is a show,
a
Banshee.
Banshee.
Oh, wow.
So I remember I was watching it with Christian and I started like holding onto my pillow and I was like, what the hecky? Like, and then I was like, dude, that is so like dry vibes. Like, that's not even a mood or anything.
Instead of getting you in the mood, it does the exact opposite. It gives you dry
So whatever
vibes.
you
Instead of getting you wet, it gets you dry.
like secota.
Like,
Seca.
like
Vibras
Like it's the
secas.
desert. It's
Like
desert.
the desert and then desert.
So it's giving very much dry vibes.
Yeah.
So whenever there's something that like grosses me out or I think it's just not a mood, I just use dry vibes. I'm like, that is super dry vibes.
Yeah.
And we say it on our daily
Dude, not only do
conversations.
we, but we've started like people who hang with us or around us, they
Yeah,
say
say
it
it all
and
the
they know
time.
it.
And I don't love telling the story, but I have to give context behind it because I don't know.
Anytime someone new jumps into the circle,
Is it
they're
'cause
like,
if you just
what
hear
is
the
it?
words dry vibes, like I don't know what people would get out of that.
Yeah, well, I'm curious what people would think of before they got the context and the story of what dry vibes is. Like, if pop quiz, what's dry vibes? Like,
Well,
Go
not wet
to our
vibes.
Facebook or go to our Instagram. They're both at Get the Pica podcast, and let us know what you think of when you hear dry vibes before you knew the meaning.
also, I'm super curious if there's any other words that they use, like, because literally, so Cilla created dry vibes, right? Do you think that that's like a
Teenagers
normal
use
thing?
mid. Like, ugh, that was
Oh.
mid.
No, but like mid's a known one. Like, is there something that someone created like that only their inner circle knows about right now?
Ooh, do you have any other lingo of your own?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see or hear. I've heard some weird stuff. I just can't remember them.
Be like that.
And I'm like, oh, did he just come up with that? Or maybe I've just never been exposed to that.
Oh, dude, for real. So, quick story time. Cilla and I sold our car. Now we're looking for 2 new cars, right? And you know how San Antonio Facebook Marketplace be, right? It's either hit or miss. Funny enough, like I literally told y'all when we were on the way to go look at the car, I was like, you know what? I wonder how it's gonna turn out because the last time I bought from Raza, like it came out really good. Like it was a great deal, like a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I've only had good experiences, so hopefully this is gonna be a great deal. Well, we get there, and it's not a great deal. Car's missing a headlight.
That's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, like as soon as you pulled over, you're like, it's missing a headlight. I was like, oh, okay, well, just go to AutoZone, buy a headlight, no big deal. But then when I hopped in it, right, they had the title. Okay, first sketchy thing, they had the title ready to go.
What?
Yeah, like I mean, I guess that's not too sketch,
Yes,
like
it is.
you think so? Like I don't know, like
They're
hey,
like, that's already yeah. You didn't tell me that. That's a red flag.
Like
Like,
they're
yeah,
trying
we're
to dump
trying
it?
to get rid of
Yeah.
it fast. Okay, go. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, but the guy, the guys came out right. He had the title ready to go, and he's like, "Yeah, if you want to check the title out." I'm like, "What? Like, who just says that right off the rip? That's us, right?" So I was like, "Okay." And then, they're like, open it up, check it out, blah blah blah. And like when it was running, I felt like it was kind of like idling or standing weird, but I was like, whatever. Like, let me just check it out. Maybe it's just me and it's in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in the car, right? We start driving, and I was like, how far can I go? And they're like, just, dale shine, I just go wherever you want. So I start going, I start speeding up, and I start hearing something. I didn't know till I got back in the car. Yeah, that you guys told me you heard like that it was making some noise. So when I was driving with them, I was asking them questions like, so anything you guys have
Not
changed?
just the noise, but it kind of smelled too.
Yeah,
It
like
smelled like
burning
burn,
car. Yeah, okay. Well, I
yeah.
didn't know that till later on. So I'm asking them questions, right? Just to be like, hey, so is there anything that you've done to the car? Blah blah blah. And they're like, no, the car's perfect, right? I'm like, okay, sus. So then, like,
Nothing's perfect, baby. Nothing.
yeah, nothing's perfect, right? So I was like, okay. So I started driving, and we're coming back, and it's just like making a weird noise. I'm like, y'all don't hear that? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? Like, we don't hear nothing, and blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, like I know I heard something. We pull up, right? I get out, and they're like, so what do you think? Blah 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 blah. And I'm hearing this noise, and I check my phone, and I see that Cilla had texted me. She's like, hey, this, and this, right?
Well, I heard the bell, or I don't even know if that's
Something,
what it was,
right?
but it was screeching like.
One more time.
I was like, and I told Chris, I was like, wait, well, it was at the car, and then he was like,
¿Qué es eso?
yeah, I was like, ¿qué es eso? And then it smelled like burn too, and
Yeah,
I was like, oh
no.
my, no, Chris better not. Anyways,
No,
like,
she literally messaged me. She's like, heck no, you better not. And I was like,
You
Like
didn't
that
tell me that
canchita.
you told him that you
yeah.
messaged him.
She was like, Hannah, get out of there already. And I was like,
well, because I saw you like
yeah, like,
just
hesitant.
Like, yes,
to
very
leave.
hesitant. He was like touching his like.
yes,
chin,
this
like,
guy's also blue. You know, like, I was just like, because I didn't want to be rude, man. It's a guy and his son, and they're like, you know, like, yeah. So what do you think, right? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm gonna pop the hood real quick. So I just pop it, and I open, like, I'm like, as I'm walking towards the hood, I see from the.
I told her it's smoking.
Yeah, well, I didn't
Oh,
even know that. So because I was looking at the gauge to see if it was moving, and it wasn't. But I heard that, and then as I literally get out the car, like on the left side of the driver's side, there's a bunch of water like leaking out. So I'm already thinking like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, I did see a lot of smoke coming out of the hood.
So,
I was like, oh,
We
that's
literally,
not a good deal.
yeah, we literally opened the hood, and then it's just like all the steam and like boiling water just shooting to the left side of the car. I was like, bruh. And they both look at each other, and they look at me, and I'm just like,
Nope.
yeah, that's a no.
Get
That's
outta
that's
here.
a no from me, baby. I'm out. And they're like, oh, you know, sorry, we'll let you know once it's fixed. I was like, don't even worry about it, bro. Like,
I'm okay.
yeah,
No,
I'm
go
good.
ahead and pass on this one, baby.
It's a no from me, baby. But yeah, that's crazy. So, shout out Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
The stories.
So much.
I don't think they expected you to go back
Actually
and open.
check all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, my first
even
rodeo.
took his little computer to do like a little diagnostic on it.
Yeah, like I was ready. I was like, let me check it out. It was a good deal. But like as I revisit it, right, I'm like as I play everything back, I'm like, okay, they had the title ready to go. They're really pushy on like,
that's a red flag.
yeah, like you know, whatever. We're open to offers, you know, blah 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 blah.
Are you available right now to me?
Yeah, like at 9:00 or almost 10:00 at night, I was like, okay.
You know, that's actually kind of scary. We shouldn't have gone that late.
I mean, I'm a big guy, you know, I'll take care of it.
I don't know. A deal's a deal.
You
I
know,
like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, what if they didn't
Same.
know? What if they just like recently just checked something or changed something and
yeah, no,
I
I
don't
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask you, and I don't know if you wanted to or not, talk about tomorrow being your day since it's gonna come out after that day.
Yeah, so when you guys are listening to this, I was actually on the radio for the first time. And what hasn't happened yet as I'm recording this, but I hope it went good. If not, I'll come back next episode and talk to you about whether it went good or whether I fucking failed.
Nah, never that.
So no, let's keep an eye out for next episode. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
I'm just super excited for
Same.
you.
Same
Very
cheese.
excited.
Oof, I know. First time on the radio, I'm going to be hosting with my friend who I actually went to school with for a day or for like a week. But
I for next episode, I'm really excited to hear like how you're gonna tell us how it went now that you're gonna be in the radio. You know, like here's how it all went down. You're gonna tell us a story about, you know, being in the producer's room or chair or whatever, and like just seeing the behind the scenes stuff, how they segment and everything, how you guys probably are gonna have callers calling in and asking questions and stuff. Like I think it's gonna be good.
now, as you said, I'm a little bit nervous.
Nah,
No,
you're
because
gonna
it's
do good.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great time. It's just I'm also nervous because it's my first time.
Like then the unknown, like
Yeah, of like how does it work? What do I have to do? What am I gonna say? Am I gonna stutter? I'm not gonna stutter. What's your catchphrase at the end? Am I gonna have 30 seconds free time or 45?
I know you're gonna be amazing. Like,
Yeah, you are. Think about this. This is only the beginning.
mhm.
Like it only gets better from here.
Yeah, let's see. Let's hope. Let's see where this goes. But tune in next episode to hear about how it went on the radio. There's a lot of fun stuff we're gonna be talking about.
You know, it's just daily lives. Or, you know, we literally have another story every day. Like something else gets added.
Yeah, it does.
Some things we can't even say because they're that crazy. Most of it's pretty PG-13, normal stuff. But
Like Frankenstein.
Frankenstein was like right at the tip.
That was wild.
No pun intended.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, you know, we'll try to make sure we filter it through.
Yeah. What did we talk about this episode? We did the
Lo que me
Pica.
picó a mí.
Yeah.
And don't
Introduction
forget
to
to
the
let
Pica
us
Pica.
know what bugs you,
Get
get
the
the
Pica
pica on our social media pages.
platforms.
So once again, don't forget to like,
Share.
Follow.
everywhere the Get the Pica podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.